Hey there everyone, Hitesh here, and in this video we're going to install Golang in our system, and we'll also write some small amount of code, just kind of a hello world. So first, moving up here, the official thing, everything that we're going to see is on the golang.org, and this is where the entire documentation lives. This is entirely all the downloadable resource lives, and we can also move away to other resources. This is kind of official homepage for that. Now, a couple of interesting things. As the time of recording, the Golang is in 1.17 version, but obviously you're going to check out this page later on. So any newer version is absolutely 100% fine for this. And I highly recommend you to go ahead and install the as latest version as you can find. The code files are going to absolutely work fine with that, so no problem in that. Now, any previous version I don't recommend, because there has been a couple of issues which has been addressed in the Golang, especially in the initial phases. The garbage collector was not up to the mark, so they have entirely rewritten that. And also we will have a dedicated section about the modules, that how Golang handles the collection and a whole lot of when different files are there. So the way how it handles was different previously. Now it has changed. So we'll be working on everything modern. Whole story short, please go ahead and install the latest version. Anything above 1.17 or 1.17 is absolutely fine for that. And also you can see that on this homepage, you can open up the playground, and some of you obviously might be saying that, can I just learn Golang right here in the playground? Technically, yeah, vaguely you can go ahead and do that, but I don't recommend that. Real applications are not built up when the application or the entire system is just in the browser. Maybe in the future this is possible with the GitHub, but at least at the time of building real world development, you need to have things installed on your system. You are going to notice that yes, you can run the code and that's fine. You can just click on it and it runs that, but it is on remote server. You don't know what is happening behind that server. For example, especially in the case of using the packages like random, especially the packages with the time and date, this goes absolutely crazy, and this is not going to give you any results that you expect. It is also going to be not configurable, so it is not a good idea to use the playground. For testing out few algorithms, it's fine, but I don't recommend anything after that. So for this Go playground, a big go no for that. Let's go back. Now, for the code editor, what I'll be using for this entire series is going to be Visual Studio Code, which is happen to be the code editor which I'm using these days, couple of years now, and I absolutely love that. Feel free to use any other, maybe Sublime Text is your favorite, so please go ahead and feel free to use that. But please, for God's sake, don't use Notepad. Anything which can make your words as a bold, italic, and underline, that is not a code editor, that is a word processor. For God's sake, don't use word processor to write code. Use code editor, something like VS Code, Sublime Text, or similar. Anyways, enough of that. Now let's go ahead and click on to the Go download and get the download. And again, as you can see, it's pretty easier download. And now you can have Windows as MSI, Microsoft Installer, click I agree next. Or for Apple PKG, again, click I agree next. And for Linux also, if you are on Linux, you obviously know how to handle the tar zip GIS file here. The zip files. Now we're going to go ahead and get the package one. It's 130 MB, should be fairly small, and we got it up here. Now VS Code is already installed on my system. I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and shouldn't be a big deal to install this. It is going to come up on my other screen. Let's bring it up here. So a previous installation is detected. In case this is your case, then it's going to be remove. It will automatically remove that, so no problem in that. I'm going to go ahead and click on continue. It says, hey, I'm going to go ahead and install that. It's going to ask me for password, so I'll add that, and shouldn't be taking too much long. Okay, so it took a minute, a little bit while, but it is all installed. So I can go ahead and close this one. Now we're going to not just stop up here. We are going to go ahead and move on to one step. At least let's just roll out a hello world here. And I'm going to show you a couple of interesting stuff. So I can go ahead and right click and move it to bin. So this is the entire directory where I'll keep everything. And for the initial few days, I highly recommend to keep the directory names, files, and the structure, everything exactly same as mine. Once we move on to the phase of modules and you've understood that, then you can go ahead and change everything whatever you like. Right now, we don't have that knowledge to change the file names and the directory structure. So go ahead, keep it on desktop or somewhere. Just go ahead and create a new folder. We're going to call this one as my Golang and -lco. So we're going to keep everything inside this one. I'm going to go ahead and just place it up here. Okay, very interestingly, I need an instance of VS Code now, so I'll fire that up. And directly just go ahead and drag and drop this my Golang up here. Okay, and yes, I trust the author, at least myself. So there we go. Let's go ahead and use the entire real estate. Nice and easy. Now in here, I'm going to go ahead and create a new directory first. Make sure you also follow the same. I'm going to name this one as 01 hello. And make sure you also follow exactly this very closely. And now I'm going to go ahead and right click on this one and we'll create a new file. And that one will be main.go. Now right click, just go ahead and hit enter on this one. Now, as soon as you're on this file, you do not need to write anything. The Go, how it handles everything, is completely different and is changed in case you have watched any other previous video. Now we need to do some things a little bit differently. I'm going to first right click on this and I'm going to say that I want to open it in Integrated Terminal. In case you are using any other code editor, make sure you just visit that particular directory. So I'm into this 01 hello as of now. Now, the first thing that you have to write, since you have installed Go on your system, you have ability to use the tool chains or the tools that are given to you by Golang. One of the important thing before even you write any code is to say go mod init. This is almost can be considered, not exactly, but almost can be considered as npm init in case you have worked with that. In case not, that's fine. And after that, usually the recommendation is to say something like this, github.com then slash, then your name, which is really big in my case, and say simply hello like this. Now, we're not going to go this much of big because we are not at that position right now. So we're going to just go ahead and remove this. This is the official way, and we are going to come on to the official way, so don't worry on that part. Right now, we're going to all say is go mod init and hello. As soon as I hit enter, this is what it gives us. No, we don't need to write any go mod tidy or any other command. We'll work on that later on. What it gives me is a file which says go.mod. It says module is hello and my Go version is 1.17. Now, wait a minute before you get angry or any more cautious about this. Don't worry. We have an entire dedicated section on just this file. So don't you worry on that. Right now, you can safely ignore that. Okay, once you're done with that, now we're going to go into the main file. Now, first thing that we're going to write here is simply go ahead and say package main. But the issue is, as soon as I'm going to save this, this doesn't know how to read and color code properly my Go files. So I need to install some tools that can help me to give the IntelliSense of the Go files. I'm going to save this one up here, and I'm going to go ahead and move and search for the extension. So I'm going to go ahead and search for the extension, which is Go, and you'll be getting the first one by the Go team at Google. This is exactly what I want. I want this one. So seems like all good. There is another one here. Yeah, it's in review. No, I don't want that. I want this one here. So I'm going to go ahead and install that. And it's all good. Now also, you're going to get some of the things that, hey, do you want to update the tools and recompile in case everything is previously installed? Yes, I want to do that. So make sure you click on install all. Anything that you see at the bottom right corner, make sure you always click on this install all, especially in the case of Go, because there are a lot of other libraries and package which Go brings up and which is going to help you to install a lot of things. Tool chains, remember I told you this is exactly what it is doing right now. Okay, so this is all good, and things like everything is succeeding, and it looks like it is all done. And we can go back onto our file. Let's go back onto the main.go. And looks like this is going to take a little bit while to install that. So I'm going to just wait for a couple of seconds. Don't worry, I'll fast forward this. Okay, so all tools are successfully installed, and hopefully it's not going to pop me up again for installation. If it does, I'll definitely do accept that. And I'll show you what it has installed all, where I can find the paths and a whole bunch of other things. So don't you worry on that part. Let's go back onto the terminal. Okay, this is 9. I'm going to clean this up. By the way, the shortcut is Ctrl+L to clean your terminal. Now let's go up here. Now, usually you're going to see that people write an import statement. You don't need to do that because you have installed the Go IntelliSense up here. So we're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and directly say that I want to create a function. So notice here, I'm going to just click on enter, and this is the function. But in case you're going to go ahead and say that I want a function declaration and use the Go IntelliSense that we have used, it's going to just autofill some of the stuff for me. And I love that. We're going to go ahead and say that this is my main function. In the world of Go, it is very similar to languages like C and C++. So there is always a one entry point, which is going to act as the starting point for your program. And this is main. So this is a reserved keyword. You cannot give it to anybody else. This is what we have. Now, the next thing I want you to do is just type fmt and dot, then we're going to write print line. Now, one of the most important thing about the Go is it is super case sensitive, but it is very predictably case sensitive. For example, all the methods that probably you can use from any package, in our case FMT, these methods from these packages are named with a capital letter. And there is a huge importance of that. We'll come back on this later on. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that I want to use a parenthesis, and we're going to go ahead and say hello from learn code online. .in, of course. Now I'm going to go ahead and save this. As soon as I save this, notice it automatically imported the FMT package for me. Now this is one of the beauty about writing the code for the Go, that you don't really go ahead and keep on adding the import statement. Go automatically cleans and uncleans the packages which you need or probably you don't need. And that's pretty much it. Now you can go ahead and save this one. Now there are a couple of other things which we can do and which we obviously will do in the future, but right now I just want to run this program. So I'm going to go ahead and say go, then I'm going to use the keyword run, and then I'm going to name the file, which is main.go. Now this is going to just run the file. This is not going to build it. So we are not going to get any executables which you can execute. We'll talk about that later on for sure. But right now, all I want to see is just a hello world. That is absolutely great here. Now, shortly later on, I'll walk you through that how you can generate the packages for Windows and for Linux and for Mac as well. And don't you worry, in case you are on a Mac, you can generate the exe for Windows. And in case you are on Windows, you can generate exe for Mac as well. There is no problem in that at all. So I guess that's it for this video. In the next video, we're going to enhance this a little bit more. We'll explore a little bit more about it, and we're going to talk about it later on. Let's catch up in the next video.